Thanks, Chingachgook.
Huron.
Painted for war.
Scout for a war party.
What would bring a Huron war party this far west? There's no white settlement around here. You don't reckon they're after your people, do you?
Hurons never make war on Mohicans before. Why now?
The river.
All you got mixing in my fight. Hadn't stuck your nose in, I'd have massacred the whole kit and caboodle of them.
You were just aiming to take care of any cripples you might have left lying around.
Oh, well, if that's the way it is, I don't harbor no ill will. Who might you be?
The Mohicans call me Deerslayer.
Yeah, seems I've heard of a white man with them heathens.
I wouldn't call the Mohicans heathen. When my folks died and no one wanted me, it was the Mohicans who took me in and raised me.
All right, no offense. My name's Harry March. I'm a trader out of Albany.
This is Chingachgook, my blood brother.
Yeah.
Any notion what brought him on the warpath way out here?
I ain't got no idea. But if they're headed downriver to Lake Otsego, which seems likely, I'm gonna need your help.
What for? What's at Lake Otsego?
White women, that's what.
White women? You mean there's a settlement there?
No, there ain't a settlement exactly. It's more like a fort. Before them Hurons hit it, I gotta get them women back to Albany.
Huron scouts will be watching the river.
I know it. I reckon on taking them overland. I'm not much of a woodsman. That's where you come in.
I will tell my people that we go and warn them of the Hurons.
We'll start as soon as he gets back.
Chingachgook!
Did you think our brother Deerslayer would let the Mohicans starve?
One deer will not stop our hunger.
There will be more. Deerslayer still hunts.
You must do quite a bit of trading at the fort.
Yeah, I make out.
Better dump that sack of gunpowder there. It's too water-soaked now to be any good.
Yeah. Good enough for trading.
How many soldiers you got at the fort?
None.
None.
No, there's a one-man army, though, there, you might say.
What do you mean?
Well, you'll see. You sure you can trust that buck there?
That buck happens to be a Mohican chieftain.
No. Now, you make sure he behaves when we get to the fort. Old Tom Hutter hates Indians worse than poison.
Who's old Tom Hutter?
McGall's.
That doesn't tell me much.
Sure are prying, Sorn, ain't you? Ask a lot of questions.
You don't give me much choice.
Well, I ain't kind of a feller to answer to just anybody. Neither's old Tom. You better remember that.
I'll try to remember those white women you spoke of.
Well, you do that, we won't have any trouble. I'm not a bad sort of a fellow once you get to know me. Only I take a lot of knowing. What are we stopping here for?
Or am I tired after battling you all these miles? Especially the way you got your goods loaded.
Yeah.
You deal in just about everything, don't you?
Whatever old Tom Hutter wants, I fetch for him.
Now, what would we be wanting with bear traps? There are no bears in these parts.
Critter don't plague people with the whys and wherefores of their wants. Expects to get rich, he don't. What do you make of it?
It's those Huron scouts we tangled with. They're signaling the main war party to join them. How far to the fort?
Oh, about 5, 6 miles.
Well, it's not likely any of them got ahead of us, but I'll scout ahead to make sure.
Creep up on me like that? Thought you were an Indian. I'm sorry, Judith. I was just fetching you some berries. The water's like velvet. Take your clothes off and go on in. Don't be so silly. Nobody will see you. Oh, come on. No, Judith. Aren't you a little Miss Modest? I bet if you ever got married, you'd wear those buckskins to bed. I'm sorry, Eddie. I just like to tease you. It's the only fun I have in this dreadful place. If Harry doesn't take me away soon, I declare I don't know what I'll do.
Keep back. Who are you? What do you want?
They call me Deerslayer. I'm looking for the fort. The Huron war party headed this way.
I don't believe you. The Hurons don't raid this far west of the settlements.
That's what I thought, but they're here. Painted for war.
Hurry up and get dressed, Judith. Put your gun down. Turn around. Now go, or I'll kill you.
Don't be a fool. If you had any sense in that silly head of yours, you'd... What's the matter? What did I say?
Harry!
What do you think of a gal, Deerslayer? Ain't she a beauty?
Is that?
Remember this. You can look, but not touch.
I'm trying to remember.
I'll wager you never suspected that Hetty and her was sisters. I never seen two peas from the same pod look less alike, now did you?
That's a fact.
Of course, Hetty ain't got Judah's looks and love and nature.
Harry March, how you go on?
But that Hetty's a real Injun in the woods. Mighty handy with that rifle, too, ain't that right, Hetty?
I guess so.
Hetty's a brave girl. She sure faced me down.
Yeah, will you meet their pappy, old Tom? He's the rarest bird in the nest.
I'll wager he is.
And like I told you, you better keep that redskin away from him. Old Tom's likely to tromp on him. Now, you two better go ahead. Old Tom sees me coming first with a couple of strangers. Ain't no telling what that old coot's up to. Well, there it is. Hutter's Fort. Ever see the like?
It's a strange contrivance for certain. Looks like a out of a flatboat.
It was. Tom bought it up in Albany and floated it down here and then built the fort onto it.
What put that notion into his head?
Oh, I reckon he figured the Indians might come calling one day.
Why would he figure that? He wouldn't likely have enough plunder to bring them way out here.
Got them gals, ain't he?
And even so,
Well, the Indians is coming for whatever the reason, so stop pestering me about it.
Father, open up. It's Judah. Father, open the door. Harry's here. He won't come out. He's being ornery again.
maybe he's gone off someplace.
Oh, he's in there all right. Likely been watching us all the time. Tom! It's Harry March. Brought along 2 friends. At leastwise one. That ain't no proper way to treat guests.
Get that varmint out of here before I cleave his skull.
Now, hold on, Tom. That one's a Mohican.
Mohican or Huron. They're all a bunch of bloodlusting wolves.
Well, I'll say amen to that, but this one happens to be a friend of Deerslayer here, and he's a friend of mine.
Deerslayer, huh? Ain't I heard your name before?
It's not likely. I've never been this far west before.
I roam a little.
Yeah, he runs a trap line from the lake here as far
Never
back.
mind how far. It's none of his business. What do you want, anyhow?
Well, Harry here thought you might need some help. There's a band of Hurons coming downriver.
Yeah, I see, we had to kill a couple of their scouts. They'll be howling for blood.
Harry.
Oh, now, don't you fret none, honey. I'm going to get you out of this.
You try making off with my Judy girl, and I'll bust your gut 6 ways.
Why, you
from
old
Sunday.
buzzard, if you wasn't her
All
boy...
this on won't stop those Hurons.
Let 'em come. It'll save me the trouble of looking for 'em.
see any sign of them, hightail it back here. And signal me you're coming in so no one mistakes you for a Huron.
Oh! Oh! Look, Hetty, isn't it lovely? Harry March, I could just hug you to death. Oh.
Well, I sure don't aim to stop you. That's the very latest thing back in Albany. I didn't forget you neither, Hetty. There we are. A brand new set of pots and pans. Now, what do you say to that?
Thank you, Harry.
Never mind all that stuff. Where's them cannonballs?
All right, here, Tom.
Oh, I sent Chingachgook ashore to watch out for those Hurons.
Ah, good. Would you unload the rest of the stuff? Well, old Tom's in there counting them cannonballs to make sure I didn't cheat him. I want to make a little time with my gal.
Don't worry about Chingachgook. The Huron doesn't live could lift his scalp. You mind showing me the fort?
What for?
I'd like to know my way around in case of an attack. Besides, I'd like to talk to you.
I'm not much for talking. If there's anything you want to know, you'd better ask Judith.
Now, Harry, you stop that or I'll slap you good.
She seems to be busy.
My goodness, Harry. You'd have to squeeze the living daylights out of me.
When I grab a gal, something's got to give. Usually it's the gal.
Land sakes. A girl is unsafe with you. You're so terribly strong.
Well, that's the gospel truth. I reckon I'm about the strongest man that ever drew breath. And there ain't nothing lives, including those Huron heathens, that I can't handle if I'm a mind to.
A little good your being strong has done me. If you really loved me, you'd have carried me off to Albany long ago like you promised. Now with those horrible savages coming, it's too late.
No, it ain't. Deerslayer's gonna help me get you and Hetty back to settlements.
You heard what Father said. He'll never let me go. He'll watch me like a
I
hawk.
wouldn't worry none about him. I got an idea those Hurons are gonna keep his mind occupied.
What's down below?
Father's room. There's another ladder under the trap door so we can climb up here from inside.
Well, it's now what Harry meant by a one-man army. With a cannon like this, a single man could sure damage his enemy, no matter what direction they came from.
Maybe when the Hurons see it, they'll become afraid and go away.
No, I wouldn't count on it. Harry thinks we should get you and Judith back to Albany.
Father would never let us leave. Hurons or no Hurons.
Fine father he is, risking his daughter's life. Why'd he ever bring you to this lonely, forsaken place anyway?
I don't know. We've always been here ever since I was little.
Well, that's no answer. You must remember where you lived before and his reason for bringing you way out here.
Please, don't plague me like this. Didn't my father or Harry tell you about me?
What?
That I'm not... Well, not like Judith or other girls.
Sure you are. Except for being over-shy and wearing men's duds. With a little confidence and some fancy female fixings, you could be as pert and pretty as your sister.
I've tried, but I can't ever be like Judith. Father says I've got to resign myself to
what?
to being the way I am, without all my wits.
Thank you, O Lord, for delivering my enemies into my hands. When them bloodlusting heathen Hurons come loping this way, give them hellfire and damnation right out of the mouth of my ken. I'm gonna smite them hip and thigh, like the good book says, and teach them the error of their sinful ways. Amen, Lord. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. That's what the good book says. But I don't stop with the eye and the tooth. I go a mite further, I do.
Tarnation, Tom, are you going to wait until their scalps are waving from your Huron lodgepole before you listen to reason?
I can take care of my duty, gal. And Hetty can take care of herself.
Why take chances? Even with your cannon, Hurons can still starve you out.
You think so, huh? With this lake full of fish, them Hurons will be sprouting beards before we run out of food.
There. It's all right for you to hold up here if you like, but it ain't right to risk the girls' lives.
I'm wise to your scheming and conniving. You figure this is your chance to take Judy off to Albany and teach her sinful ways.
That's not so. Harry wants to marry me. Don't you, Harry?
Sure I do. Just as soon as I can get around to it. But Hurons will know this ain't no fit place for Judith. She deserves a more frolicsome life like I could give her in Albany.
I don't hear Hetty complaining. And what's good enough for her is good enough for Judy.
Oh, you know Hetty, she's different.
Harry's right. It's a sin and a shame to deny a chance at a better life.
No, by thunder. And that's the end of it.
I better go stand guard.
Oh, let him. I'll pick him up and toss him in the lake. Just like this.
Oh, Harry, stop it. Put me down. My, but you are strong, Harry.
Oh, that wasn't nothing. Watch this.
My goodness. A girl could really lean on a man like you, and that's a fact.
I take great pride in my strength. That's what sets me above other men.
I'm gonna get back.
Always button in, ain't you?
And there's a few things here I don't like the looks of.
Like what?
Well, old Tom, for one. Wouldn't you say he acts mighty peculiar?
Oh, him. He's always been a little crazy. Ever since I met him a few years back and throwed in with him.
Throwed in with him.
Well, what I mean is I take the furs he traps, sell them in Albany, and then tote back whatever supplies he wants in exchange.
Strange sort of fur trapper he is.
Huh?
I don't see any sign of furs or even drying racks.
He maybe keeps them in his room.
I'll let that pass. You said old Tom was a little crazy. How'd he get that way?
And what Judith tells me, his wife was killed and scalped by the Indians when they lived back in the settlements. He ain't never been right since. I reckon that's what unsettled Hetty's mind, too.
Hetty's an odd one, all right. But I wouldn't say her mind was unsettled. Well, I guess she's lived in her sister's too long.
Maybe so. I wouldn't know about that. Now, what else is pestering your mind?
Those bear traps of old Tom. I haven't seen any bears in this part of the country.
Maybe he has. He knows these parts better than you.
Maybe so. What's he got hidden in that chest of his?
If you want to know that, why don't you ask him? Stop plaguing me or I'm going to bust you in two.
No, you won't. Not if you want me to help you get your sweetheart and Hetty past the Hurons into Albany.
Well, he keeps a lot of gold hidden in the chest, I know that. I've been trying to get my mitts on my share for a long time. Whatever I do, I'll let you know what else he's got stowed away.
One thing more.
Now what?
What's the real reason he built this fort? What's he so afraid of, anyway? That's Chingachgook coming back. Must be a pretty big bunch of them.
How can you tell by that?
Well, a warrior with a small war party wouldn't be so careless as to throw away an old moccasin. He'd bury it.
We'd better get started for Albany then before they cut us off.
Harry, what about Father?
Well, the devil with him. Let's go.
Not so fast. We have to wait till night to slip past them. Besides, we don't know where they're hiding.
Then suppose you go ashore and while I help the girls get packed.
All right? And you try and make old Tom see the danger in staying here.
What call you got to keep those gals locked up in there, you old buzzard?
You're safer here than traipsing off to Albany with you, especially Judy.
What are you up to?
I'm going ashore and trap myself a mess of Hurons. You're going to help.
No, I ain't. I'll not have any hand in your bloody work.
You've already got a hand in it, you money-loving conniver. And don't forget it. Now shut up and get in there.
We'll never get out of this terrible place alive. The savages will kill us all.
Don't cry, Judith. I'll look after you.
You're awful good to me, Hetty, dear. Father was acting so strange and roaming off for weeks at a time. I just died if I didn't have you to turn to.
Don't fret. Harry will get you out of all this.
I don't know, Hetty. Sometimes I don't think he really cares about me. If he were serious, he'd face Father down and take me away.
Maybe he can't, Judith. Maybe there's something betwixt the two of them that makes him go easy with Father.
What do you mean?
I can't put it into words. It's just a feeling I get watching them together.
Now, don't you go getting any more of those strange notions of yours. It's not good for you, you know.
I guess you're right. I'm sorry.
That's kind of risky for Deerslayer and a Mohican, ain't it? They likely come back this way.
If they ain't got enough wood blowers to keep out of traps, that's their lookout.
like they're fixing to attack the fort.
Strange. No sentries.
Yeah, they must feel pretty sure of themselves. Come on, now's our chance. We'll smash their canoe. Lean on me. Can you make it to the lake? Come on.
Better get out of here. I'll meet you over by the lake. Well, you heard me. Go ahead. Get out. They're just wasting their lead, the stinking polecats. You've got to come closer.
Yeah, maybe they will.
Let them. I'll blast them clean out of the water.
You were mighty careless with those traps of yours. Almost killed Chingachgook.
I'm likely to yet if you don't stay away from Hetty.
She doesn't seem to mind.
Well, she'd better. Or I'll take a strap to her, feeble-witted or not.
Nothing wrong with her wits that a little kindness wouldn't help. And you'd see that if you're any kind of a real father to her.
You mind your manners. And tell that redskin to mind his. Or I'll give him the same treatment I gave them Hurons.
I think I know why the Hurons are after you.
What do you mean?
I saw those two you left in the woods. They didn't look very pretty.
Neither did some white folks I saw when the Indians got through with them. Or maybe that don't bother you.
I don't hold with taking scalps, no matter what the reason.
Oh, ain't you the pious one? Well, maybe you'd sing a different tune if you saw some Huron buck grab your woman by the hair and have to sit there and watch while he took out his scalping knife and... Here they come! Keep down, Judith. Vengeance is mine, O Lord! I made the sinners their devil's ways.
I don't suppose you got any notion what he's up to, have you?
Yeah, hard to say what a crazy man's likely to do.
You're throwing in with him knowing he's crazy.
Had to, count of Judith. Besides, he's easy to do business with.
Oh, how so?
Well, I don't mind if I sell him a bad sack of gunpowder now and again. Ain't too particular, too squeamish about my goods.
Suppose you're too squeamish about his goods, either.
What you getting at?
Scalp hunting. You say the business out of it.
You know, you keep prodding me this way, and I'm gonna bust you wide open.
Eye for an eye. That's what the good book says. A tooth for a tooth. Who's there?
Deerslayer, open up. I want to talk to you.
No, go away. Keep out of here.
I am a servant of the Lord. Vengeance is mine. Repent, you heathen, murdering Hurons. Repent your sins today. Repent!
Where's your sister? And Harry?
Outside, packing Judy's things in the canoe.
You better get your stuff together then. You've got to pull out of here before dawn.
I'm not going. I can't leave Father.
I'll see that he comes too if I have to drag him.
Oh, please, you mustn't. He'll kill you.
No, he won't. I'll go get packed.
Where's Hetty? We gotta shove off.
He'll be along in a minute. You better get in with Old Tom. He'll likely need some persuading.
Now, why bother with him? Let him stay if he's a mind to.
Harry, we can't do that. The savages will get him sure.
Yeah, serve him right. Them Hurons wouldn't be here in the first place, wasn't for him and his bloody work. If he hadn't have gone...
You all going someplace? Like maybe Albany?
We are that.
Not with my gals, you're not. You're staying right here with me.
Don't be a fool. We can't hold out here forever. We've got to get the girls away while there's still a chance.
Shut up. There's nothing to fear. Now that they've had a taste of the cannon, it's likely them savages won't come back.
They'll come back. It's my guess you got something they want real bad. Cannon or no cannon, not rest till they get it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you do. Want me to spell it out for you? In front of the girls?
Get out of here. Go on, or by thunder, I'll put a hole clean through you.
Look! Here they come again!
Get the girls inside, quick!
Closer and I'll blast them. Ah, you buzzards! Help me with this gun.
Powder of Harry's. I told him to get rid of it. That dirty, I'll kill him. Oh, wait, load the cannon, I'll cover you.
Harry, old Tom's out there. Let him in.
Don't be a fool. It's him or us.
No, you might hit him.
Huron's torture, old white man.
I'm not using that fire to dry his clothes. You can bank on that. Where's Harry? I was wondering when you'd get around to that.
Why not? School ain't gonna do him any good now. Anyway, I'm gonna inherit it, you might say, when I wed Judith.
I doubt if you're anticipating marriage as much as she is.
You saying I don't aim to do right by her?
I say your main aim is to do right by Harry March. And none other.
Get your mitts out of there. What are you looking for?
Get that cannon loaded.
What is it? What's in there?
Scalps. Indian scalps. You'd better not. They're not all Huron. He wasn't very particular, was he?
Well, why should he be? After what Redskins did to his wife.
There's something to be said for that, maybe. But not much for you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't know what he was up to. I figured he was trapping, not scalp hunting.
The only thing he ever trapped was Indians, and you know it.
Well, I might have had a slight inkling, but I took no hand in it.
You just took the scalps to Albany and collected the bounty.
What bounty? What are you talking about?
No secret, the British pay bounty money for Huron and Iroquois scalps. Just like the French do for our Indian allies.
What's wrong with it? It's legal, ain't it?
Yes, it's legal. It's the main cause of these unending Indian wars. It's one thing to kill an Indian in self-defense when he comes howling down on you. But it's another to go seeking his scalp for blood money.
So what? There's fellows on both sides doing it. Scalp hunting's become a regular trade almost. And at $100 apiece, I aim to get my share. Now, give me that.
If you had no part in this business, as you say, then you wouldn't have any claim to this now, would you?
I got something owing to me for all the time I spent messing around these backwoods. I could have been having myself a gay time with them Albany gals if it hadn't been... Now look what you've done. Went and got Judith all upset.
You're the beat of any man I ever saw, Harry March. Now, if you can bring yourself to it, suppose you get that cannon loaded and try and look after those girls. Well, I see what can be done about old Tom.
You ain't aiming to fetch old Tom back from them Hurons, are you? Ain't nobody around here got no sense except me.
Have you found your tongue yet? Where are the scalps of our dead ones? Speak, and you will die easier.
Where you going with that?
To the Huron camp. Maybe I can make a deal with them.
Deal? What kind of a deal?
These scalps for old Tom.
Are you daft? You go busting in on them savages, they go...
What's wrong, Hetty?
What is it?
Old Tom's record of the Hutter family. Births, deaths, and so on. Didn't you ever read it?
Father always kept his Bible locked up in the chest.
What's important? What's it say?
Hetty's not your sister, Judith. She's an Indian.
Hetty, an Indian? But that can't be. How?
Your father carried her off from an Indian village when she was just a baby.
You mean when he's on those scalping raids? What'd he do a thing like that for, hating Indians the way he does?
From what he says here, he thought Judith needed a companion to grow up with. And I guess remorse set in.
Remorse for what?
She's pretty upset, Judith. See what you can do for her.
Let me see. I wonder he got remorseful after he killed her folks.
You knew about Hetty all along, didn't you?
Would an Indian not know an Indian?
I know it's a shock, Hetty. Coming so sudden. But if you think about it, you've got more reason to be happy than sad.
Happy? About being an Indian?
Of course. Don't you see? This proves there's nothing wrong with your mind like you thought.
But he always told me I was feeble-minded ever since I was little.
He lied, Hetty. He knew when you grew up you'd see the difference between yourself and Judith. You'd start asking questions he couldn't answer. He had to throw you off the track some way. So he made you think you didn't have all your wits.
I don't know. There must be something to it. I've always felt and acted so strange, so different from Judith.
You feel and act the way you were to. The way it's right and natural for you to. It's not in your blood and nature to be like Judith, any more than it is for her to be like you.
Then I'm not really...
Of course not. You've got as much sense as any girl, white or Indian, and a lot more than most. Hey, Chingachgook?
My white brother speaks the truth. Believe me.
What are you up to now?
Nothing for you to fret about. Come on, let's go. It's time we made tracks for Albany.
I'm not going with you. Not after what you said about your Albany girl.
Oh, I didn't mean nothing but that, Judith.
Just more than I can bear. Father in the hands of the savages and Hetty turning out to be an Indian. And you making light of me. I wish I were dead.
Oh, now, don't go crying. You'll redden those pretty eyes of yours.
Don't you try to sweet-talk me, Harry March. You're just plain no good.
I expect you're right. Served me right if my scheming and conniving lost me the thing I yearned for most.
What's that?
Pure and virtuous woman to help me mend my sinful ways. Somebody I could look up to and cherish for always.
For always? You mean a wife?
Well, if you put it that way, I reckon that's what I mean.
Oh, Harry.
Stay here with the girls until nightfall, understand? If we're not back by then, make a break for it.
Right.
You're not sure, then, that the Hurons will give him up?
Well, it all depends on which they want the most. Old Tom or the scalps of their dead.
What makes you think they want them scalps at all?
Well, all Indians are superstitious. Hurons more than most. They believe that the spirit of a scalp warrior can never rest until his scalp is reclaimed.
And you can't go to happy hunting grounds without his hair on, huh?
Yeah. That's why old Tom built this fort. He knew there'd be a reckoning someday. That sooner or later the Hurons would catch up to him, even way out here, to try and get back the scalps he took.
Do you think he's dead?
No, not yet. He'll go slow at first, trying to make him talk.
Well, I reckon that's the last we'll see of them. Come on, let's go.
Aren't you going to wait for them?
You think I'm a fool? They got no more sense than old Tom, maybe less.
What makes you so sure?
Never mind. Come on. Let her stay if she's a mind to. Her being an Indian, them Hurons likely won't bother her none.
But Father and Deerslayer and Chingagook, don't you care what happens to them?
I'm concerned about you and me and nobody else. Now, come on, let's go.
Harry, get out and bring the pouch with you.
What for? What do you expect to find in it?
The gold that was in the chest. It wasn't there when I looked for gunpowder.
You took Father's gold? You robbed him?
I'm waiting, Harry. Scalps. You stole them, too.
Why not? At $100 apiece are worth a sight more than they are to a pack of superstitious heathens.
Harry, don't you realize what you've done?
Where do you think you're going?
To warn Deerslayer and Chingagook.
Not in my canoe, you're not. I'm using that to take Judith and me away from here.
Eddie, come back!
Let her go.
But you'll be killed, the old...
I'm sorry, Judith. I'm just trying to do what's best for you.
not. Goodbye, Harry.
Judith, you come back here, do you hear me? Go on and get yourself killed then. I'm through, do you hear me? Through!
Still alive.
Wait.
Easy now. I am Deer. I come in peace to help the Huron.
Help us?
Yes. By setting at rest the spirits of your dead warriors.
You can do this?
I can. For the life of the old white, I give the Hurons the scalps he took.
What is to stop us from taking the scalps in your lives as well?
Only treacherous bite the hand that helps them.
You say the Hurons are dogs?
No, I say the Hurons are great warriors and men of honor.
The scalps.
For the life of the old white,
There is little life left in him. It shall be as you say.
We're too late. Run, Judy, run! Tried to warn you. Harry stole the scalps from your pouch.
No. The scalps of our dead, where are they?
the big white has them. Is he still at the fort?
He went to Albany.
The big white. Try to find him.
If you catch him and get your scalps back, you let the girls go free?
We'll be slaves for the families of our dead.
I reckon I know what you got in mind for Chingachgook and me.
Not the fire. The gauntlet. Hey, Judy, how did you... The gauntlet. You?
No, they're taking us to their village.
To make slaves of us.
Slaves? My daughter's slaves of the Hurons? Try me loose, you dirty scum. I'll kill you. I'll tear you to pieces. You have a hot tongue, old one. Soon I will make it hotter. I'll get you first.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you with my bare hands. Run. Run.
Father, see...
The fort, quick.
We're trapped!
We'll have to make a stand. Take cover, quick.
It's empty.
Mine, too. Don't let them take you and Judith alive. Understand? Hold it! hurt inside. Little wonder after lugging that cannon all the way up here from the fort.
It doesn't seem possible, even for him, strong as he is.
I reckon it was something more than strength. Sure you don't want us to go with you? It's a long haul to Albany.
No, thanks. It's up to me to take care of Harry now.
Should get me to a doctor. And to a preacher.
I miss you, Hetty. I wish you'd come with us.
No, Judas, my place is with Chingachgook and his people.
My people will be pleased with you.
As soon as we fetch them, get you and Hetty wed, we can start building a village.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, and thank you.
Keep your hair on.